Hello friends, welcome to Dungeons & Dragonfly, where I adapt various characters for use in D&D. I'm Dragonfly9078, and today's request comes from Milo on Patreon. This is Jack Hanma from Baki the Grappler. Thinking about goals for this build, there are really only two things that I want. I want to be tall, since Jack strives to overcome his father Yujiro Hanma, to the point that he takes experimental drugs that make him grow to be over 7 feet tall. And we need to be bitey. Jack fights like a savage animal, and his signature move is biting the enemy, so we'll emulate his titanium teeth with some special chompers to bite through enemy defenses. For ability scores, I'll be using the standard point array. Strength is our only multiclassing minimum if you're rolling at home. Strength is going to be number 1. We're a big guy with big, weirdly drawn muscles. Dexterity is next. We're big, but we're also fast, followed by Constitution. Our father stands up to armies alone, and we want to fight him, so we can't die too easily. Intelligence is 12. Jack isn't dumb, especially when it comes to fighting, we just need other things more. Then Charisma will be 10, and we'll dump Wisdom. Both are low priorities for Jack, but he's scary, which is Charisma, and he's incredibly reckless, meaning low Wisdom. As far as I know, everyone in Baki is human, so we'll go Variant Human for special martial arts training. We use our 2 free points to round off Strength and Constitution to 16 and 14 respectively, take Medicine for our skill to find enemy weak points, and pick up the Savage Attacker feat. Once per turn, when we roll damage for a melee weapon attack, we can re-roll the damage dice and use either total. It's kind of like getting advantage on our damage roll. Jack is a pit fighter, which to me sounds a lot like a gladiator, so we'll take that background for proficiency in acrobatics and performance. We also get a musical instrument, so, I don't know, take your pick. Go with the theremin, I dare you, you're not going to do it. Starting off as a fighter, we get 2 fighter skills. Athletics makes sense, and so does Intimidation. For our fighting style, Unarmed Fighting makes the damage of our unarmed strikes a d6 or a d8 if we have both hands free, so really it's a d8. We can also deal a free d4 of damage each turn to a creature we have grappled. Now technically, a bite counts as an unarmed strike, so hey, we got Bitey with only 1 level, go us. We also get Second Wind, which uses our bonus action to heal us for 1d10 plus our fighter level once per rest to keep us in the fight. Second level gives us Action Surge, letting us make a second action on our turn once per rest. Remember, this is just an extra action, not an extra turn, so we don't get another bonus action or extra movement. I mean, unless we dash, I suppose, but I don't know. We're already bitey, so now it's time to get tall. At 3rd level, we'll become a Rune Knight for Giant's Might. A number of times per day equal to our proficiency bonus, we can use our bonus action to transform. For up to a minute, we become large as long as we have room. We get advantage on strength checks and saves, and we can deal an extra d6 of damage with a weapon or unarmed strike once per turn. We also become proficient with smith's tools and learn to carve runes to enhance ourselves. The Frost Rune gives us advantage on Intimidation and animal handling checks, and we can invoke it once per rest as a bonus action to get +2 to all of our strength and constitution checks and saves for 10 minutes. The Stone Rune gives us advantage on insight checks and 120 feet of dark vision. Once per rest, we can invoke it as a reaction to a creature ending their turn within 30 feet of us. That creature has to make a wisdom save, and if they fail, they're charmed by us for a minute. While they're charmed, they're incapacitated, have 0 speed, and can repeat their save each turn to try to end the effect. We'll take the Brawny feat at 4th level, bumping our strength up to 17, giving us expertise in athletics, and making us count as 1 size larger in terms of carrying capacity. Now this doesn't technically affect what size creatures we can grapple, but talk to your DM, I know I would allow it. We get extra attack to attack twice with the attack action at 5th level, and the Resilient feat at 6th level to bump our Constitution to 15, and give us proficiency in Constitution saves. 7th level Rune Knights get Runic Shield, letting us force a creature to re-roll an attack that hits another creature within 60 feet of us as a reaction a number of times per day equal to our proficiency bonus. But that doesn't affect us, and our fights are usually one-on-one, so we can pretty much ignore this. We do get another rune, though. The Hill Rune gives us resistance to poison damage, as well as advantage on saves against being poisoned. Once per rest, we can invoke it as a bonus action to get resistance to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage for a minute. We're done with feats, so our 8th level ability score improvement will round off our strength to 18 and our constitution to 16. 9th level fighters are indomitable, letting us re-roll a failed save once per day, and 10th level Rune Knights get Great Stature to make us permanently tall. We grow 3d4 inches, so anywhere from 3 inches to a full foot, and the extra damage from our Giant's Might goes up to a d8. We also get the Storm Rune, which gives us advantage on Arcana checks and prevents us from being surprised as long as we aren't incapacitated. Once per rest, we can invoke it as a bonus action to enter a prophetic state for a minute. While in this state, we can use our reaction to give advantage or disadvantage to any attack, ability check, or saving throw made by us or any other creature within 60 feet of us. So that's Tall and Bitey accounted for, but we still have half the build left. We'll grab a second extra attack from the 11th level of Fighter for 3 attacks in a round, and jump over to Barbarian. Our unarmored defense makes our AC 10 plus our Constitution and Dexterity modifiers, so we don't have to cover up our Dorito-shaped torso. And we can enter a Rage as a bonus action to get advantage on strength checks and saves, resistance to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage, and extra damage to our strength-based melee weapons. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's pretty redundant with our Rune Knight abilities, but I mean, hey, it's extra uses, so I'm not complaining. Our Danger Sense at 2nd level gives us advantage on dexterity saves against effects we can see, and we can attack in the only way Jack knows, that is to say, recklessly. We can get advantage on our strength-based melee attacks in return for giving attacks against us advantage as well. Primal Knowledge at 3rd level makes us proficient in Perception, and we'll go down the Path of the Beast. Form of the Beast gives us an actual bite attack for anyone who wants to quibble about whether bites count as unarmed strikes. While we're raging, we can bite for 1d8 plus our strength modifier piercing damage, and once per turn when we bite someone this way, we can heal an amount equal to our proficiency bonus, as long as we aren't above half health. We'll cap off our strength with our first Barbarian ASI, and at 5th level we'll get Fast Movement, increasing our speed by 10 feet. It would normally give us extra attack as well, but we already have it from Fighter and they don't stack that way, unfortunately. 6th level Beast Barbarians get Bestial Soul, giving us our Metal Teeth, as our bite from Form of the Beast now counts as magical when it comes to resistances and immunities. Also, once per turn when we jump, we can make an athletics check and extend the jump by that many feet. Since we have a capped modifier and expertise, that's a minimum of 18 extra feet. 7th level Barbarians get advantage on initiative rolls with Feral Instinct, and Instinctive Pounce lets us move up to half our speed with the same bonus action we use to enter our rage. Our last ASI is Dealer's Choice. Constitution would give us more HP, more AC, and would bump up the save DC of our runes. Dexterity, it helps AC as well, along with initiative and a bunch of skills. My pick is Dexterity personally, but this one's really up to you. And we'll finish up with the 9th level of Barbarian for Brutal Critical, letting us roll an extra die when we roll crit damage. Now that we're done, how did we do? Well, we're resource dependent, but we have plenty of redundancies, with 4 Rages and 6 Giant Smites along with all of our runes, giving us great uptime on our abilities. We're also surprisingly good at non-combat stuff. Our runes give us advantage on a wide variety of skills, and both Giant Smite and Rage give us advantage on all strength checks. On the other hand, we're hurting a bit from magical damage, since all we have is our bite, and specifically the bite we have while raging, so Giant Smite doesn't have anything magical. And our mental stats are pretty low, so we could fall victim to some nasty effects, or even just being frightened, which our father Yujiro is very good at. But that's fine, since as much as we like Jack, we really want Baki to be the one to beat Yujiro. Jack is a tall, bitey boy, but he's a little bit too savage to be a good main protagonist. Still, if you want to take a bite out of crime, well, you'd get Scruff McGruff in that case, but if he wasn't available, then Jack is a good backup. I hope you enjoyed the build. If you have any feedback or suggestions for characters you'd like to see me build, please let me know. Thanks again to Milo for the request, and thank you all for watching, friends. I will see y'all later.